Um, this is our last session for the Active Aging National Nutrition Month series. So I'm happy to introduce Abigail Cray, and she's going to be discussing food labeling. So I will give it over to Abigail and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, we should be good to go. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, so today we are going to talk about the nutrition facts label, some different labeling requirements, and how these labels can be useful. The information on a food label can be confusing, so hopefully after understanding the new food label, you'll feel a little bit more like an expert. Now, in the emails that went out to you with the Zoom link, you did receive a presentation handout. This is from the FDA, so you can utilize this handout to follow along with the presentation. It just kind of complements it. It's understanding and using the nutrition facts label. All right, let's see here. So the information I'm going to share with you today is from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They are excited about the nutrition facts label update and therefore have created a lot of educational material to lessen the confusion around the food labeling, because we know that understanding the new nutrition facts label is important to make healthy food and beverage purchases if your food does come with a label. So our objective today is just that, to learn how to read and use the new nutrition facts label on packaged foods and beverages. We're going to look over the nutrition facts label again, because our goal is to make informed food choices that support a healthy diet. So let's look at, before we get started, let's look at a little bit of the history of our nutrition facts label. In 1990, the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act was passed. This was signed by President George Bush, and this law gives the Food and Drug Administration authority to require nutrition labeling on most foods that are regulated by the agency. And they're required that all nutrient content claims and health claims meet the FDA regulations. In 1993, the nutrition facts label was required on all food packaged products by the food manufacturers. They had to have the nutrition facts label present for consumers to utilize. In 2006, trans fat, the declaration of trans fat was required, just meaning that trans fat, if it was in the product, food manufacturers had to claim the trans fat. In 2014, this is when there was a proposal that we update the nutrition facts label. 2016, finally, that rule to the update was passed, and therefore the new nutrition facts labels were put in effect. Now it's a process for food manufacturers. So they had goals for us, or for the food manufacturers. So by January 1st, 2020, all large food manufacturers, so those companies that sold $10 million or more, were to be compliant with the new updated nutrition facts label on all of their packages. And then by January 1st of this year, compliance by all the smaller food manufacturers was required. So that's why now the FDA is really pushing out a lot of information about the new nutrition facts label, because it should be on all food packages that you come across today. Just to kind of further emphasize that the FDA's intention of the nutrition facts label, that it is a valuable tool for consumers. This is just a fun little video that they put together, so I wanted to share it with you today. All right. So let's take a moment to define a few key terms before we take a look at that new and improved nutrition facts label. First, a calorie. A calorie is a unit used to measure the energy content of foods and beverages. Our bodies need energy to function, grow, and thrive. A nutrient is a substance in food that our body uses to function and grow. We get nutrients from what we eat and what we drink. Fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water are all examples of nutrients. And then our fats, carbohydrates, and protein supply calories to the foods and beverages that we're consuming. Something else that we see on the nutrition facts label is the percent daily value. This tells us how much a nutrient in a serving of the food contributes to a total daily diet. It can also help you determine if a serving of food is high or low in a nutrient and to compare food products. That's one of the primary things that I like to utilize, the percent daily value, especially if I'm in the grocery store and want to do a quick comparison of similar products, is looking at that percent daily value. And you'll find both calories and the percent daily value useful terms to know, again, when you're utilizing or using that nutrition facts label as a tool to find those healthy food choices. So now we're going to turn our attention to the nutrition facts label. Once you've become familiar with it and understand how to use it, the label can be an extremely valuable tool for you and your family to help make those healthier food choices. Keep in mind that the nutrition facts label, again, is regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. It's required on most food and beverage packages. It provides important information about the nutritional content of the food and the beverage. The label generally is found on food and beverages packaged, such as packaging and containers, such as like boxes and bags and bottles and cans. And again, the goal of the nutrition facts label is to help us make informed decisions about foods and beverages we consume. Decisions that promote that good nutrition and good health for everyone in the family. So here's the original nutrition facts label. And now we have the new and improved nutrition facts label. So this is what we're going to take a look at today. Dive in a little bit deeper. Hopefully you have already seen this label on food and beverages. Again, it was required by all food manufacturers by January 1st of 2021. A difference that I appreciate in seeing in the new and improved nutrition facts label is the clear and bolded serving size and calories. But here is a look at all the changes that were made. So again, you can see that serving sizes have been updated to be more realistic, to reflect what people actually eat and drink. So you're going to see cups, teaspoons. You'll see bread like referred to as a slice. The number of calories is also in larger, bolder font. Really jumps out at you when you flip your food package over and look at the nutrition facts label. Calories from fat has been removed. Research shows that the type of fat a person consumes is more important than the actual amount or calories. And we'll take a look at that a little bit more here in a few minutes. Added sugars in grams and as a daily percent value is now required on the label. Grams aren't required for a single ingredient sugars like table sugar, maple syrup, or honey. Another change is the list of nutrients have been updated. Vitamin D and potassium are now required on the label because Americans don't always get the recommended amount. However, vitamin A and vitamin C are no longer required since deficiencies of these vitamins are rare today. And the actual amount in either milligrams or micrograms, in addition to the percent daily value, must also be listed for vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. The daily values for nutrients have been updated based on new scientific evidence, and the footnote at the bottom of the label has also changed to better explain the meaning of percent daily value. So we have that constant reminder when we look at the nutrition facts label. So let's start at the top. The first line tells you the serving per container, which is the total number of servings in the entire package or container. It's common for one package of food to contain more than one serving sometimes. Many times I see this with pretzels that are packaged to look like an individual serving. The second line is the serving size. The serving size is based on the amount of food typically that we eat at one time. It's not a recommendation of how much you should eat. The nutrition information listed on the nutrition facts label is based on the serving size listed on that specific label. So all of the information below the serving size stated is what that product is made up of. And if there is a second column based on the amount per package, that column of nutrition information will be based on the entire package. Serving size is also showed, and again, as a common household measure that's appropriate to the food. So again, like in cups or tablespoons, a piece or a slice, followed by the metric amount. So we have two measurements there. When comparing calories and nutrients in different food, always check the serving size to make an accurate comparison. All right, next, the next line is the calories per serving. Calories refer to the total number of calories, or again, remember, energy supplied from all sources. And those sources, again, that provide us calories or energy is fat, carbohydrate, protein, and alcohol in a serving of food. To achieve or maintain a healthy weight, balance the number of calories you eat and drink with the number of calories your body uses. Now, on the nutrition facts label, 2,000 calories a day is used as a general guide. And this is a general guide for nutrition advice. Your calories may be higher, they may be lower, and vary depending on age, male, female, your height, your weight, and your level of physical activity. We are on to the percent daily value now. The percent daily value, or percent, and then they have DV, shows how much a nutrient in a serving of the food contributes to the total daily diet. Again, like I mentioned earlier, use the percent daily value to determine if a serving of the food is high or low in an individual nutrient. And it's very helpful when you're comparing like food products. But when you're doing this, make sure that the serving size is the same. So as a general guide, if you're comparing two like products, 5% of the daily value or less of a nutrient per serving is considered low. And 20% of the daily value or more is considered high. And you'll see too, the nutrition facts label there off to the side. Some nutrients such as like protein and trans fat, they're listed on the nutrition facts label, but they do not have a percent daily value. And it's just that there has not been an established guideline for these specific nutrients. So use the number of grams as a guide instead. What else is new on the new and improved nutrition facts label? Well, we have the list of nutrients. The label lists the different nutrients contained in the food product. Use this section of the label to help choose products that are lower in nutrients that you want to get less of, and higher in nutrients that you want to get more of. For example, nutrients that most Americans should get less of include saturated fat, trans fat, sodium, and added sugars. Most of us exceed the recommended limits for these nutrients, and diets higher in these nutrients are associated with an increased risk of developing some health conditions, such as heart disease or high blood pressure. So we want to compare and choose foods to get less than the 100% daily value of these nutrients each day. Okay, so of these nutrients that we just stated, we want the percent daily value that's posted on the nutrition facts label to be closer to that 5%. 5 is low. So we want these nutrients, percent daily value, to be low. Nutrients that we should get more of in our diet include dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. So I'm going to share some more detail on total fat and total carbohydrate, since these nutrients on the nutrition facts label are a significant focus when we're choosing healthy fats and beverages, and they've been slightly changed on the new and improved nutrition facts label. So let's look at that next. So remember that calories from fat has been removed from the new nutrition facts label. So let's look at closer at the facts about fats. The nutrition facts label shows the total amount of fat contained in the product and its percent daily value. As well, labels are required to list 2 types of fat, and those include saturated fats and trans fat. Although dietary fat is a necessary nutrient for the human diet because it does provide us energy, it helps our body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, and it's important for growth and development and other key body processes. However, saturated fat which is typically found in a variety of foods, including animal fats, meats, poultry, processed meat, dairy products, sweets. A lot of our spreads like butter and cream cheese, sour cream, things like that can contribute to, again, some of those health conditions such as heart disease and high blood pressure. Trans fat as well is one of those nutrients that as Americans, we typically want to get less of. So we want that percent daily value to be closer to the 5. Trans fat is found naturally in small amounts in some animal products. Trans fat formed artificially is found primarily in foods that contain partially hydrogenated oils, such as like baked goods, coffee creamer, fried fast foods, a lot of our ready-to-eat frostings, frozen pizzas, stick margarines. However, it's important to note that in 2018, and when I was going over the history earlier, I mentioned this, but 2018, partially hydrogenated oils or trans fat in the US food supply are not, were recognized as not being safe. Therefore, they were encouraged by food manufacturers to get out of food products. And again, if it was in the food product, they had to state it on the nutrition facts label. A little bit more about fats. When you're shopping for food to cook at home, or when you're eating out, compare and choose foods to get less than 100% of the daily value of saturated fats. That's about 20 grams. And again, this is a general guide, but that's about 20 grams of saturated fat each day. And keep the intake of trans fat as low as possible. So look for ways to replace that saturated fat with the healthier types of fats, mono and poly unsaturated whenever possible. Unfortunately, for food manufacturers, it's voluntary to list these 2 types of fats on their nutrition facts label. So mono unsaturated and poly unsaturated are not required. It's voluntary as to whether the food manufacturer posts it or not. But when you're looking for these types of fats, you're gonna find them primarily in avocados and fish, different types of nuts and seeds, and vegetable oils, such as like canola oil or olive oil. Those are great sources of unsaturated fats, which tend to be especially heart healthier in the diet. Another nutrient that's now required on the label is added sugar. So what's added sugars? Well, added sugars include sugars that are either added during the processing of food or are packaged as such. So an example here would be a bag of table sugar. Sugars from syrups and honey. It also includes sugars from concentrated fruit or vegetable juices. Added sugar also includes sugars that you may add to your dish, such as syrup on pancakes or sugar in your tea or coffee. Added sugars are included on the nutrition facts label, on the new and improved nutrition facts label now, underneath total carbohydrate. So under the section of total carbohydrate, you will see total sugars. You can also look for added sugars on the ingredients list. So you can see here in the picture, underneath the nutrition facts label, there's the ingredients paragraph. So you can also look for added sugars there. You might see terms listed such as brown sugar or dextrose, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, honey, maltose, maple syrup. These are all examples of added sugars. Some of our main sources of food that's consumed in the typical American diet that are sources of added sugar are baked goods, desserts, salad dressings, and other spreads and condiments. Our sugar sweetened beverages is probably one of the biggest culprits. And of course, our sweets, our candies. So how much is too much of added sugar in our diet? When sugars are added to foods and beverages, it increases calories without contributing much to the nutrient category. So we're not adding too many important nutrients, or those nutrients that we need to get more of in our diet. So diets that are high in calories from added sugars can make it difficult for people to meet their daily recommended levels of the important nutrients while staying within a caloric range. The dietary guidelines for Americans recommend consuming less than 50 grams per day of added sugars. Again, this is based on a 2,000 calorie diet, which is just that general guideline. 2,000 calories is not appropriate for each individual. The 50 grams of added sugar per day is equal to about 12 teaspoons of added sugar per day. You can also check the percent daily value on the nutrition facts label to see if the food is high or low in added sugars. Again, this is a great way, especially if you're in the grocery store and don't want to spend a lot of time looking at nutrition facts label while you're standing in the aisle. Use that 5 and 20. So again, if you're comparing two like products, 5 is low, 20 is high. Added sugar is something that we want to get less of in our diet. So we're looking for products that the added sugar is closer to 5% daily value or less. Again, just kind of emphasize this again, most Americans exceed their recommended limits of saturated fat, trans fat, sodium. Now, I didn't go over sodium because nothing has changed on the new and improved nutrition facts label. It's still stated in milligrams, and we still have that percent daily value for sodium. However, sodium for most Americans, we do want to try to consume less in our diet. So if you look at that percent daily value for sodium, we want that to be closer to 5 versus 20. And again, the other one that we just mentioned was the added sugar that is now required to be posted on the nutrition facts label. So again, these are the 4 that we want to get less of. We want these to be closer to that 5% daily value. Trans fat does not have that percentage. So again, use the number of grams for comparison and keep the intake of trans fat as low as possible. The nutrition facts label also has the nutrients that we need more of in our diet, and that is dietary fiber. Dietary fiber, we should aim for about 20 to 30 grams per day. Again, dietary fiber, we want to get more of. So we want that percent daily value to be closer to 20%. Most Americans need vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Also, these are nutrients that lack in the average American diet. So these as well, when we're comparing labels, or looking at a new food product, we want to see if we can get that percent daily value for each of these nutrients to be closer to the 20%. So let's review the new and improved nutrition facts label. Again, here are some of the features. Serving size is in bolder font. We have updated the serving sizes It's more comparable to those common household measures that we use, such as tablespoons and cups. Calories is in larger font, really jumps out at us when we flip that food package over and look at that label. It's one of the first things that we should probably see. We've updated the daily values. It's now required that added sugar is posted. There's changes in required nutrients with actual amounts. And at the bottom of the label, a new and easier to understand footnote better explains the percent daily value to all consumers. So ultimately, understanding how to read the nutrition facts label will help you shop smart to prepare and eat healthy foods. We want to identify the nutrition facts label on the food or beverage package so we can compare like products and make the healthiest choice for ourselves and our family. The FDA has another useful tool. It's the FDA's Quick Tips Wallet Card. So if you are back in the grocery stores now and in the aisles wanting to compare food labels, this Quick Tips is something that you can carry along with you to help you make some of those healthy choices. We will put a link to this download in the chat box. As well, we'll send it out in the follow-up email that will be sent to you after this presentation. And with that, I'd like to say happy Nutrition Facts label reading to all of you. Hopefully you find that the new and improved label will be a valuable tool in maintaining your health. So thank you.
So the quick tips that she just referenced have been submitted in the chat box. You will receive that as well with the email follow-up that you'll be getting later this afternoon. We're also going to be putting in the chat box a survey link if you wouldn't mind participating in that survey. Again, if you don't have time to do it right now, it will be sent out in the email follow-up.